All right, the next lesson in this module is called Assumptive questions. So this is a really interesting copywriting strategy that I learned from a guy named Alan Soltanic. He's huge in the direct response space. He's insanely talented. So go check him out. He has some free stuff. He's amazing. So let's go ahead and jump into this. I use this for YouTube all the time, and I'm going to share it with you today. Okay, first, I want you to listen to 2 scripts. The first script is, I like cake, but why does it have so much sugar? It's because America wants us to gain weight. But why does America want us to gain weight? It's because it's good for big companies. How is it good for big companies? Well, they make massive profits from it. You know, that script's okay. It's not bad, but it can be a lot better. So let's listen to the second one where we use assumptive questions. I like cake, but America wants us to gain weight, so they add crazy amounts of sugar in order to trick our dopamine receptors into addiction. Then we pay companies massive amounts to feed us poison, right? That script sounds way better. Like, that's insidious, tells like there's like this evil organization going on, right? It's just overall a much more intriguing and interesting script. But what you'll notice is that the second script actually still answers all of the questions that we asked in the first script, but it doesn't use any of the questions. Like, we don't have any questions in that second script, but it still answers everything from the first script. Doing this where you don't ask any questions to the viewer makes the script flow much better, and it also decreases the friction on the viewer. Because if you ask a viewer a question, they're gonna think about the question, and that takes brain power. And honestly, I'll be real with you guys, like, most people on YouTube don't want to use their brain power. They want to sit back and just have the answers laid out for them. And that's completely fine. That's what we're going to optimize for because we want to get views. So you can use that to your advantage by just not asking them any questions, just answering them immediately. And bam, your script just got infinitely times better. And it's because it makes it an easier viewing experience. So I almost never include any questions in my scripts, but I do include them in my outline. So let me explain. Let's go back to that class with Nate Wealth. So he lists out all of the topics in order. What I'll go in and do is essentially go through all of those topics, and I will ask all of the required questions that need to be in those topics to be answered for it to make sense to the viewer. So let's go ahead and do that now. Let's go ahead and pull up an empty script. So I'm going to not use my script framework. I'm going to go ahead and just delete all of this. All right, so we're here. I helped a stranger blow up their YouTube channel. So for one, I'll talk about, let's say I talk about title, thumbnail. Then I talk about video editing. Then I talk about posting strategy, right? So these are the 3 things that I'm going to talk about in my video. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is go ahead and list out all of the questions that need to be answered. So title and thumbnail. How do I write a good title? I'm going to go ahead and put these in bold. Why do I need to write a good title? Why do I need to make a good thumbnail? How can I make a good thumbnail? What will it do for my channel if I invest the time into making a good title and thumbnail? So yeah, I'll basically just go ahead and write all of these questions in here, right? Like, how do I edit videos? Why should you edit? What can I expect if I edit good, right? So I just really go in and I ask all of these questions, and then I essentially just fill them out. I'll just go ahead and fill them out. Like, I'll literally just like, what will it do for my channel if I invest the time into making a good title and thumbnail? If I invest the time into making a good title and thumbnail, it will increase my CTR from 3% to 10%, tripling the views on my video. Boom. And then I would just delete the question. So I'd answer it, delete the question. And I would probably answer it in a little bit more detail. Just for the sake of this module, I'm not going to, but I would write out like maybe a paragraph answering that question and then literally just delete the question. Like, you'll be surprised. It works almost like 99% of the time. You don't need a question. It just adds something for no reason. So just delete the question, makes the script flow a lot better. And overall, it's just a very solid move that will increase your AVD. And again, this works because we're essentially removing the insecurity from the viewer. When we ask them a question, they feel insecure. So we just remove that completely because we don't want them to feel insecure. We want them to feel confident, relaxed, and just enjoying our video. And again, this can be broken. There are times to ask questions, but for most of the time, try deleting the question and see if it works. Okay, that is assumptive questions. Now let's talk about CTAs, because there is a way to increase the amount of people who go to your next video after watching a video based on your CTA, and you can increase that by like 20%, which is huge. You know, if 100,000 people watch your video, that's 20,000 extra views you just got. So let's go ahead and talk about that. Head over to the next module and let's dive in.